done so much for me, I cannot tell it all. If I had 10,000 tongues, it still wouldn't be enough.
Welcome to Transcience, theology, philosophy, and spirituality. This is the LGBTQ Center for Science, Theology, Philosophy, and Spirituality. And that's a very famous song, Narikele Mo, by Travis Green and Tim Godfrey. And it's a beautiful, and I love it so much. And it's being sung in Africa like nothing. And Travis Green is a great musician from America, Black American, and he managed to sing Igbo, and he did it so well. I love that part of where he talks about God, Chukwu, and he does it so well, and we are very happy for that. And we're happy what's happening in Africa. Of course, when it comes to religion and Pan-Africanism, when you see the symbolic part of that video is that Travis Green is a Black American who came and sang with his fellow Africans in Nigeria, and he sang in an African tongue. And that African tongue is his tongue. And this is what we need to know as people who like knowing the times. It is a time when the Black community is uniting, not uniting to fight other races, but uniting amongst themselves. We have been divided for so long, and it's so weird that during the time of independence in Africa, Pan-Africanism was a very important part of African consciousness. And it even began in the beginning of the 20th century with Dubois, and Marcus Garvey. Sorry about that. I was looking for the Mark. It was Marcus Garvey and William Dubois, and very many other Pan-Africanists who believed that the Black people of the world needed to be united. And of course, after independence, many countries became so nationalistic, and the Pan-Africanism lost its flavor because now everybody was focused in building their nation. But there is a resurgence of Pan-Africanism, and I think, to me, it's the best way to unite Black Africans, because tribalism and nationalism has not helped Africa. It's a shame to find Black people fighting each other. It's a big shame because we are one. What are we fighting? But it should be understood that it is not that it can't happen. Brothers even fight brothers. Sisters fight sisters. Parents fight children. It's normal. But in the scheme of things in life, we work hard to make life better. And so these spurts of violence and disagreements are supposed to reduce as time goes on. So when I see Travis Green singing with Tim Godfrey, and then Ty Tribbett singing with all these Nigerian singers, gospel singers, I am very much impressed. And not only gospel, even in the secular world, you have Akon. Akon has really done a good job to go and represent Africa in America and telling the African Americans that you are still part of us and we love you. despite the historic injustices that happened upon the Africans in the diaspora. And so Akon has done a good job that way. Kanye West, you see, Kanye West came to Uganda with Jay-Z, and then you have many of these, and then you have Rihanna, she's in Malawi, she's very busy, and also Jay-Z is giving back to Africa and loving the continent of their origin, and that's what's supposed to happen. So I'm very happy. That song it's so symbolic. Symbolically, it's showing that Africans are uniting. And as I've told you, this is a Nigerian song. In the past, people would never want to sing songs from Nigeria. But now you go to every country in Africa, they are singing it like nothing. And that is Pan-Africanism coming in a new way. At first, Pan-Africanism came politically, but now it has come in the religious or the socio-cultural setting. And we are very happy about that. And I'll talk about that in another video when we talk about Black Africa, because I am an African also. I'm a Black African. And what I mean by Black African, they are white Africans. Yes, they are. And they are Asian Africans. Yes, they are. They are Arab Africans. Yes, they are. And that's what people need to understand. And that's now when we go to the higher level of humanity, that we are actually all humans and we should love one another and work together. Okay, so today I want us to do memory lane because there's this thing called the 10-year challenge, and people are revisiting their past and how they've changed. And when I was doing my revisiting, I was trying to look for pictures of myself, my old pictures, and I laughed. I didn't find some, but I found one. And it was actually 10 years ago when I was in campus, and that time I was a preacher. So I want to go and take you to that thing. And now when I was looking for my pictures, I also found memories about myself on the internet, because I was a very notorious blogger, Christian blogger. And there was a friend of mine, we used to blog together. He's Ugandan. And we used to talk so much. We were friends, but he was a bit homophobic, and because of Christianity, when you're very much into biblical Christianity, the chances of you being homophobic is high, even if you're gay. Yes. And I always tell people, you can be gay and homophobic. It's very true, and that was my case when I started out as a pastor, as a blogger online. And so I want to show you that and basically it's on a light. This is not it's not a hard hitting video. I'm not even hitting my friend who wrote about me. He's still my friend. I love him. I can still talk to him about everything and religion and how I have changed. What I'm trying to show is that people can change their views. And contrary to what people believe that when you say something, you should never change it. And that's not true. People can change statements. And that's what happened in my life. And I believe even politicians, the politicians are always attacked. You said this last year. You said this 10 years ago. Look at Kevin Hart. They're really disturbing him. Of course, he has apologized for attacking gays, but some people are taking it too far, pushing him against the wall that, you said this, and so you're bad, so you're homophobic. And he apologized. And what I can say to the LGBT community, we have to take certain things very slowly, and how to teach people about our lifestyle. And of course, it's good he's not going to do the Oscars, because it would still, the scandal would overshadow the whole event. So it's wise he shouldn't appear. But it's not that he won't appear one time, and it's not that he is not a good actor. It's that he has to know that homophobia is bad. But where I support Kevin Hart, not supporting his homophobia, but as a human being, people should have the heart of forgiving. And yes, we really have to have a heart of forgiving people who hurt us. That's where the LGBT community has to really come to terms with that forgiveness is part of life. And some people say things because they don't know. They are truly ignorant. Some even say it because they're insane. They are mad. So you're waiting for how can you wait for an apology from a mad person? He's clinically insane, and he can't even understand what he's saying. So those are the things you need to understand about people. When you find somebody keeping on repeating statements and doesn't change them, then you notice that there's something wrong. That's why I'm of the view that homophobia and transphobia should be called a mental disorder, especially if somebody has acquired all the knowledge and known about homosexuals and transgenders and still remains homophobic and transphobic. And what I mean by remaining homophobic and transphobic is verbally, whereby you go back and you still write against gay people, you still speak against gay people, then they must be. All right, so let's go to, it's just a visit people can change. Let's do it. How will I do it? Okay, yes. Okay, no, that way. I wanted to show you my old pictures and then show you my story, but it's not coming as I thought it would. And I just want to show the the what do you call it, my there's a way you can do it. Okay, I've got what I was looking for. So that's life, I know Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, they have been a bit transphobic and homophobic, but you have to engage with them. This is a time of dialogue. Even in foreign policy, dialogue is being encouraged. So not war, not fighting people, and that's what we're saying. So this is me. This is also me, and my other name, Arthur Witty. And so I want to come to my photos, and those are nice pictures of, let's just go through them and just say hi to all of them. These are my great friends, Bishop Carlton Pearson, very great theologian, the theologian of the 21st century. His movie is coming out. I think it already came out come Sunday. And a very, very nice movie about Bishop Carlton Pearson, how he stood with the LGBT community despite his theological positions, and he's a blessing. And then this is Bishop Joseph Tolton from the T-Farm family, also very LGBTQ affirming and standing firm. I love his passion and his hard work. Then we also have I'm trying to maneuver here. And okay, I think I can also like this. I have so many accounts, so let my okay, that's singularity. We are going to a singular world. Yes, and I wanted this one. This is Bishop Yvette Flander, and she used to sing for the Love Fellowship, Walter Hawkins, and she's also a blessing. She's a bishop of T-Farm, and we are very happy for her. She's also standing with Carlton Pearson. You see, everyone is aligning. It's a month of, some astrologers say it's a season of alignments. Okay, and that's me again there on the keyboard, and we were with friends of ours in the LGBT community, but from Uganda. They are refugees living in Kenya, and they are being settled in other countries because of the homophobia they face at home. We love them so much, and we are always remembering and standing with them forever. And so now I wanted to look for my photos. I posted them today. Okay, good. This is what I wanted. Yes. So you can see I have, these are my playlists. Now this is my unique life. So this is what I was looking at, and I'll just say, wow. You know, I was liking the 10-year challenge that is being put in the world today. Everybody's talking about it. So this is me in, sorry, let's go down. I don't want to talk about so much a lot. Of course, that was me when I was, I was talking about the 3 decades of my life. So that's my first decade when I was a very tiny boy, I think around 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. And then this is when I was around 19. And then now this is when I'm around 31 there. All right. Now this is what I wanted to see. So this is me now, 2019. But 10 years ago, this was me. And this is what I was saying. My 10 years challenge, from rough John the Baptist preacher in campus to a modern day polymath. And I laughed at it because I looked, in campus days, I looked very serious. I was a very slim guy and very hairy with my mustache. I really never used to shave a lot, and I was so serious. Actually, I was very John the Baptist because I used to preach a lot about repentance. You know, repent, repent, repent. That used to be my song. But I used to have gay feelings, even though I suppressed them quietly. And at that time, when I was in campus in Uganda, there were issues, and so they were talking about gay people, gay pastors, and that's when I had to address the issue. And so that's now when I was looking for this, and you can see some people are laughing, and I like some friends here, they've commented, and you see everybody, some people want me to go back to the 2009 lifestyle, and personally I won't go back to it. I'm very happy with my gay lifestyle in science and faith. Yes, I'm now better than I was 10 years ago, and I'm very happy about that. And I've changed. And why do I say I've changed? It's because I used to have a blog called Ukweli Library, and this is called Arthur Owiti, so you can search me, and that's me in my other official garb. And then my friend wrote about me one time, and I used to like blogging. I used to have so many blogs. This is Arthur Owiti Leaking Library, and then that's the one, the Kenya Ukweli Library. God is word is truth. Repent in Jesus Christ. So we'll come back to it. And now this is a friend of mine. He's called Kizito Michael George, and he wrote about me. So this is what he said: from defending the gospel to defending homosexuality, and last, a sad story of a young man, Arthur Owiti, Rex Arthur. Please pray for him. And he talked about it. Of course, he was against. Today, many here in Africa are shocked and amazed at the gradual but sure growth of this behavior in Africa of homosexuality. It's not a growth. It has been there before. Even in Africa, it has been in Africa for many years. What used to happen in Africa, homosexuality was a taboo practice in some cultures. So what it means by taboo, it was done in private, and it was a forbidden practice for the common people. But it's not that there were no common people who were homosexual. It's that they were there, but it was not to be known that it's happening. And then in some cultures, it was actually spiritual. And they used to have gay people who stayed in the shrines, like in Nigeria. Nigeria, all the sexually special people were kept in shrines. And there's another friend of mine, a very good blogger. I love him forever. I think he's a Nigerian. And he explains that history very well about sacred homosexuality. Now, and this is what he was commenting, and he said Arthur Whitty was a couple of years very passionate about the true gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. He was critical of ecumenism, prosperity gospel, and unsound doctrine. And as I write now, he has fallen away. He's very passionate about lust and homosexuality and silent about the gospel. He used to preach it at the university, but now those Christians who knew him for preaching against heresy today are wondering what happened. The devil is wicked, blah, blah, blah. And so these are some of the things I wrote. And I wrote about the global Sodom. And I also wrote about prosperity gospel preachers in Kenya. There was a famous woman, Bishop Margaret Wanjiru. And I talked about all of these things. So this is my blog. And I used to talk about, I used to believe that the world is on the Antichrist agenda, the New World Order. And I used to say it's accelerating in the economic, technology, religious, and political spheres. God will also unleash his swift judgments on the earth speedily. Fear not, fear God, endure to the end, and you shall be saved. So that was me. And of course, then now, what I laughed about was these comments. Look at what I used to write. Oh, damn it, my sexy dudes, beautiful, handsome, I'm fucking jealous now. Drogba hold me at 2-starage, blah, blah, blah. So that was me. When I came out in 2011, 2012. I was so happy that I accepted myself, I accepted my sexuality, and I was too happy. And I used to, if I see a very handsome man, very sexy man, I just comment, I would just write, be it on Twitter or Facebook, and I never used to fear. So my friends used to wonder, what has happened? You used to preach, you used to talk about God, then all of a sudden, you've changed. So you look at me, so he put all of my comments. Now, look at my old comment, which I wrote in March 2010, when I was preaching. A glance, so I talked about global Sodom. A glance made on the global conditions of the world is proving that one thing, the whole world is actually one, thanks to globalization. This globalization is making blah, blah, blah. And I talked about Sodom and Gomorrah, usual. Okay. Before it belonged to the abode of the West. Of course, this in red is not my writing. It's the writing of my friend. Before it belonged to the abode of the West, but now India has legally protected the rights of gays, and there are many advocacy groups, hence the spread of Sodom in the whole world. But is this the only thing that made Sodom Sodom? So I said, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Isaiah give us more insight of what took place in Sodom. Isaiah castigated Israel for declaring her sin openly like Sodom. And arrogant, blah, blah, blah. Ezekiel said, of course, it was pride that made Sodom Sodom. Then they were full of bread, they were very rich, and then there was a lot of idleness and so entertainment. So I wrote that, and the global blindness to God's judgment, that's what I wrote, and global spread of iniquity and all of that. So he just used my article. Whenever you see red, it's George who wrote it. Then this is where I said goodbye. Ukweli Library says goodbye till we meet again. Due to other matters of this life, homosexuality, Ukweli Library has decided to call it a day. It has been a great joy sharing and writing and having you read and research on various topics. That's on Friday, November 25th. This blog will not be available. Thanks, and God bless you, and keep on researching and pursuing truth. Wisdom is the principal thing, and the truth shall set you free. So what happened in 2011 of this year? Let's go to the blog itself. It's there, but I forgot the password. I can't remember anything, so I forgot the password. Once I left it, so it's there, but I can't change it. I can't edit. I just look at them. Sometimes I look at them when I just want to see what I used to think about the world those days. So that's what happened. Ukweli Library till meet again. And so I used to write a lot. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that I changed from between 2010, I used to write. This is how I used to blog. I would blog as I read the Bible and as I pray. And then in 2011, I left campus and now went to law school. No, actually, when did I go to law school? I went to law school in, yes, 2011. And going to law school, it's when I was really struggling in my mind about religion and science, because I was now coming out, and I was a very organized student. Even though I had sexual desires of sleeping around with men, I I knew how to control myself. I said, I'm in university to read, so let me read. So that's why I was always reading and preaching. I never used to have time to sleep around. But now, once I was done with campus, I said, now I can exercise my desires. So it was at that time that I started listening to atheists, and atheists were giving me very good understanding about sex and how homophobia is not a healthy standard to have as a human being. And I was so impressed by the atheists because they were speaking with facts. And so that's now, when I was in the middle of that, I was blogging. So I changed my mind. I just said, okay, if this is the case, I'm not going to blog anymore. And that's when I closed my blog in 2011. So this is what I used to talk about in this blog. I used to talk about politics, everything, even what is happening right now in UK. I used to talk about the EU and the and all of these things, South Korea, civil war, because I was prophetic, yes, in the sense that and because of reading a lot of politics and a lot of politics, I used to have a lot of dreams, political dreams, and I would just feel like, oh my God, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. So I posted all of these things in the blog. When you have time, you can visit. For those who are very strong, who cannot be affected by what I wrote. But generally, even if I wrote, I was not so homophobic. Yes, I wasn't so homophobic because I discussed things about Bishop Eddie Long in a very sober way. I didn't attack Bishop Eddie Long because I knew I was gay, so I didn't attack him. And you see, I talked about the Arab Spring, EU winter, and I was always reading, and I still read from news sites, CNN. I watch all of these channels. You see, I was always on CNN, always on BBC, Al Jazeera. So I wrote about America, wrote about everybody. So that was 2011. Now things changed. And now let's come to the new Arthur Owiti, and this is in the Querying Science and Theology and Philosophy. Querying Science and Theology and Philosophy. Sorry, I spelled it wrongly. So as 2011 went on, I became very scientific, because now I was an atheist. From 2011, I was now an atheist, a gay atheist. And because of atheism, I was so open about my homosexuality. If you're a sexy man, I would say it the way George Kizito has written. And but I did mind. I didn't care what people would say. I meant it. I really meant it. And I was free. And because my understanding of pornography is that it's not bad. I mean, Greece has very many naked statues. How many people see them? Naked statues of men. They are in Greece. They're in Rome. They're in many parts of Europe, So that's pornography. So I used to challenge people. Now, when I was in my atheist mold, I used to tell people, no, if you want to ban pornography, then destroy all the statues in Greece and all the paintings of Michelangelo, And I even told Christians, ban the Bible because it has stories of naked people. Adam and Eve were naked. Bathsheba was naked. Jesus was crucified naked. That's pornography. It makes people think, how did Jesus look? What was his genitalia? Those are the things. And there's a very good book you'll see in my blog, my new blog. So anyway, so as that was 2011 until 2016, when I came back to 2015, 2016, I came back from Uganda to Kenya, and coming back to Kenya, it was a battle because Kenya is also a very religious society. So, but I still continued in my gay activism, my social media gay activism, and I faced a lot of challenges because now my family was not really for the gay lifestyle and gay activism, but I was for it because I knew that's who I am. And I always used to engage with my family and tell them, no, it is scientific. I even used to challenge everybody who has read in the family, who has a degree. I used to tell them, go and read. The science is there. It's proved that homosexuals, transgenders exist, and they should not be discriminated against. And so, but in 2016, I went through a lot of challenges medically. And because of that, I used to have mental disturbances, and I even tried to commit suicide. And I was hospitalized for some time. And with all of that stress and all of that, I decided to go back to church. But I knew I was still gay. But I just wanted to go back to church because I understood from the atheists studying, atheists say these are just mental asylums, and I agree with them. They are calm. Have you noticed why people love churches? One of the reasons why people love churches is the music, and music is very therapeutic, especially church music. It's not so noisy. It doesn't make people think about having sex compared to secular music. Secular music is good when you want to have sex, when you want to have fun, when you want to be so loose. But church music is good for people who want to be calm and quiet. So I've noticed mentally disturbed people, actually, there's an atheist friend of mine. He used to say, he calls churches mental asylums. And I say, yeah, it's true, because the music is so calm. The preacher can be calm. Though in the Pentecostal churches, it's different. They are very loud, They want people to be active and everything. So that's why I said, okay, since I'm mentally disturbed, let me go to church. I'll be quiet and there. And I went back and I started playing keyboard. That is what I love doing. I love singing and playing the keyboard. And when I was doing that, I was in another church that, of course, it was homophobic. I really hoped they didn't go that to homophobia, full-blown homophobia. I couldn't stay there because it was messing up with my understanding and my lifestyle. Because I know my lifestyle, and I don't tell people to attack. It's not wise, and it's very wrong, and to attack people for something they are genetically wired to be. Science has proven that homosexuality is natural. Same to transgenderism. So it's wrong for a pastor, an influential person, to speak against homosexuality. Even a politician should not speak against homosexuality because it is scientifically proven to be natural. So when you attack gay people, you are actually committing you're making a big mistake out of ignorance. Like, you see why did Kevin Hart have to apologize? It's because science has disproved all homophobes. There is no homophobe who can stand up and declare that homosexuality is not real. There is none, absolutely none, because science is truth. It's the highest truth in the world. So you're wasting your time if you attack gay people. You'd rather apologize if you've spoken against gay people in the past. And that's what has happened to very many people like Kevin Hart. Even myself, I had to apologize, I did it on Rex Arthur. The video is there for the homophobia. If it came out from my mouth, you know, but I know personally it wouldn't, but it can, you know, in a subtle way. And so, and very many people, I mean, look at Obama started, he didn't understand gay marriage, then he changed his mind on gay marriage. So that's what happened. Now, that's 2016, so I left that church, and then 2017 I joined another church, and this when I joined an LGBTQ affirming church, and I'm very happy in that church. I feel I have purpose, I am calm, because even it changed my theology, understanding that God loves everybody irrespective of their sexual orientation. Yes, if God didn't love gay people, Jesus would not have died. He would have come to take only the straight people to heaven. But the people don't understand Christianity. Jesus died for everybody, even Muslims. This is what I shout. This is now my new gospel. I shout it to churches and to everybody. Jesus died for everybody. He paid the price for everybody. That's what John 3:16 says, and that's what Jesus said he did. So you can't say that a gay person cannot call Jesus, cannot be saved, cannot go to heaven. It's a lie. Those are lies. They will go, everyone is going to heaven, because Jesus paid the price for everybody. It's as simple as that. That's why when I had my first gay theological channel, it was called Tetelestai Ministries. Tetelestai means in Greek, it is finished. Yes, he paid it all. There are very many songs about that. So there is now argument about that. And so I joined this LGBTQ affirming church, and I'm very happy with it, very blessed. And this is where now I started listening to Carlton Pearson, and I started listening to Vet Flander and Bishop Tolton and very many other blessed men and women of God in America and around the world, but mostly America, who have understood and have combined science with theology. People need to understand, do you know what theology is? It's the knowledge of God. And what is knowledge? Knowledge is science. It's the science of God. And what is biology? It is the science of life, the knowledge of life, logi of bio, the science of life. So what do we know about life? Life is diverse. So homosexuals are part of biology. Yes. So a brilliant scientist is a brilliant human. And we are also scientists. We are supposed to study science. That is what Solomon did. Solomon asked God, give me wisdom. He asked for science. That's what Solomon asked for. And God gave him science. Yes, he gave him science. He gave him knowledge. And we're going to study Solomon's time. You know, these guys were brilliant builders thousands of years ago. Have you lived for 1,000 years? Just look from the year 1000 to now 2019. Those are 1,000 years. Nobody has lived for that long in this world today. And I want you to go and look at what happened in the year 1000 and what has happened now. Thoroughly different things. That is the distance. And yet when you read about Solomon, he built a beautiful temple. We're going to look at the temple structure. And this is what to show you that contrary to belief, humans were actually clever as today. It's just that they didn't know much. But what they knew how to do it very well, you know. So that's 2017. And then 2018, I still go to other churches just to check how they whether they are becoming affirming or they are welcoming. Of course, I was in another church. It is welcoming, but it's not affirming. So there's a very good video I've already done on here in the channel that talks about the stages very many churches and mosques and other religious centers are in. Some religious centers are in the anti-gay or not welcoming, homophobic stage. They are in baby class, they don't accept gay people in the church. There are churches like that. Then there are churches which are welcoming churches. These ones accept gay people, but they are kind of subtly trying to change them, but it doesn't work. First of all, let me tell you, as long as you're gay, you will never change. Yes. If you change, you are a bisexual. Yes, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You are a bisexual if you change, if you so-called change, because there is no way you can. Sexual attraction is natural. It's not spiritual. People think spiritual. I mean by spiritual, they say demonic. It's not demonic. It is your body. When your body is attracted to a man, that is you, and God knows that's who you are. So don't fight yourself that you should kill yourself, or you should do very bad things to yourself because you're gay, that you want to change. You go for deliverance. We need to talk to some gay Christians. They run around trying to look for deliverance. What deliverance are you looking for? That's your body. It's already marked. Your body was set up at conception. The instructions for who you are at conception. That's why you can't change. And I argue with people about this forever. I argue with lesbians who are believers. Yes, they believe in Jesus Christ, and they think that Jesus hates them because they are lesbian. I said, no, he loves you. He knows you are like that. What happened to you? Did Jesus come and give birth to you? No, it's your parents. It's their genetic material. Yes, it's your genetic material. That's why a black person is born black. It's not that Jesus came down and painted him black. It's the genetic material. You are a product of a sperm and an egg. And the qualities in that sperm will make you gay, straight, or bi, or transgender. And the qualities in the egg will make you gay, bi, straight, or transgender. So if you have a problem with your sexuality, check your parents' line. It has it. And when it has it, keep quiet. Yes. Don't go to pastors and tell them, I want to change. What are you changing? That's who you are. You see, this is why we want pastors to also know science. Yes. They will not waste their time trying to change things that can't be changed. Yes. Very happy the Church of England. Now they are baptizing transgenders. Yes. They are baptizing transgenders. They are accepting, they should even accept gay clergy, full gay clergy. Let me tell you, England is going through the biggest change in its life, in its history. Yes, the biggest. Because UK is a Christian kingdom, and most of the kingdoms in Europe are Christian. And we'll talk about these kingdoms in another video. All right. So let's finish here. So now this is my new blog, Querying Science, Theology, and Spirituality. Of course, that's where we are. But I want to come here, and now this is our new blog. We have replaced Ukweli Library because I can't call it Ukweli Library because I've now come to this, and this is the Querying. Now this is a new one, and this is a book I was talking about, Indecent Theology. Very beautiful book by Marcella Altas Reed. In fact, this one should be in your library. Reason being, she is discussing how theology, the heteronormative theology, has hidden the indecent parts of theology that are found in the Bible. Things to do with sex, nakedness, love, all of these things, they have been hidden. And it's because the heteronormative system does not value indecency, or it even calls it indecency. And it's just sexual love, it's just eroticism. You know, I always tell these people who are anti-sexual, you should remove Songs of Solomon from the Bible. It's too erotic. It's too pornographic for children. You should just remove it. Why was it put there? You know, I always tell anti-sexuals, if you are anti-sex, that you don't want people to know sex, why do you have Songs of Solomon there? So this book covers that topic. Very good book. And we have this is what I wrote. Marcella challenges heteronormative structure of theology that surgically excises sexual reality in theology. It also critiques Latin America's liberation theology, avoidance of queer theology, calling for reconciliation. All right, good. And then this another article I wrote, A Tale of Two Israels. One of my best understandings and writings and thoughts about morality and law. So I talked about this, and you know the video is already there. It's doing very well on the channel, and so that's why I wrote it. There you are, Arthur Owiti. So Arthur Owiti is back, but he's back in a different way. The old Arthur Owiti is gone. The old Arthur Owiti that was not really talking about science. He was only focused on religion. The new Arthur Owiti is now combining science first with religion. And we are making religion subservient to science. So that is me, and that is why we call it the transience of thought, you know, windy thought. You know, the wind was blowing. I was blowing too much on the religious side, but now I'm blowing towards the science side, but with some religion. Yes, and I'm going to start. This is who I am now. I've measured the whole landscape, and I'm very happy with this position. So we'll now be blogging from here, and we'll be writing most of our talks and everything. You see, now we have now LGBTQ affirmative therapy is vanquishing LGBTQ conversion therapy. Yes, brilliant thing that has happened in the LGBT community. LGBTQ persons are now affirming fellow LGBTQ persons that have been hurt by LGBTQ conversion therapy. Yes, it is very wrong to convert somebody who is gay. Extremely wrong. Being gay is good. It is an other way of having love, making love. Please, I don't know how to say it, but I'll just say it that way. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And that is how people can change. And people can change. You know, you can be a politician. I know very many politicians in Africa who released homophobic statements. It doesn't mean they should stay in homophobia. Read the science. Then when you've changed, come out and say, actually, I made a mistake. Gay people are actually humans, and it's wrong to attack them. That's what Kevin Hart has done. That's what who is this other person? Barack Obama did. You know, he came and now supported gay marriage. You know, he never used to. Now he supported it, and he even appointed very many LGBTQ persons in his administration, which is very good. Even Trump, we will wait for the day Trump changes. I mean, even George Bush Sr., who died, you know, the LGBT community attacked him, that he was against gays while he was president. But guess what? He went for a gay wedding before his death, a few years before his death. And people are like, some people now said, oh, yeah, that's good. He evolved, he changed. But others said, no, you're still bad. No, I am with those who said, yes, he evolved. So humans can evolve. So don't fear that, oh, in the past I said something homophobic, so people will now hate me. No. Come out and say you are wrong, and now you understand gay people exist, and you'll be welcomed back into the family. Of course, not everybody will welcome you back, but that's not should not be your problem. Your problem is that, have I understood that gay people exist? Yes, they exist. And this is why we encourage everybody in queering, science, theology, philosophy, and spirituality, read as much science. Science emboldens your understanding of sexuality, and it keeps you calm. You accept yourself. Do you know even heterosexuals don't know the science of heterosexuality? Very many of them. They don't know. They are just heterosexuals. That's what I was telling somebody, that just because the law of gravity exists does not mean it won't work for you because you don't know the law of gravity. It will work for you whether you know it or not. Yes. The laws of science, and homosexuality, for information, is a law of science. Natural law of science. There are men who have sex with men. Full stop. Full stop. Women who have sex with women. Full stop. It's a natural law. And I've told you, natural laws exist whether you like it or not. So homosexuals exist whether you like it or not. Lesbians exist whether you like it or not, because it's natural law. Look what's happening in Chechnya. It's sad that the world is not saving those gay people. If it was Jews being killed in Chechnya, they would have bombed Chechnya by now. But now it's gays, they're not even helping them. And what I've said, the UN needs to airlift all the gays in Chechnya to show Chechnya that homosexuals are natural persons and homosexuality is a natural disposition. All right, enough said. Thank you so much for joining us.